Hello, friends. Welcome to another podcast. My name is Dr. Jason Wiggins, and I am your Gen Z and Millennial expert. Today's date is March 18th, 2021, and it's Thursday, one day closer to Friday. We've almost made it through the work week, so give yourself a pat on the back. As always, I want to start out by thanking the listeners. Thank you very much for letting me spend a little time with you wherever you may be for the 15, 20 minutes a day. Again, our podcast is Monday through Thursday, and we do take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off to recharge and retool and make sure we're ready to ramp up for the following week. So we're glad to have you here today. Today was, as always, I always like to say it's an excellent day, and it is an excellent day because that is how you have to compose your mind. When you compose your mind, that it's an excellent day, you're programming yourself to where it is an excellent day. So today, we'd like to talk about how responsibility is king. When you say responsibility is king, what does that mean? Well, responsibility is the means of when people depend on you and you come through. That is an important part of responsibility. So today we're going to talk about responsibility in general, and then we're going to talk about what some tips are about responsibility. So let's get started. So today I was thinking and going, you know what? When I was thinking back in my lifetime, I was thinking about, when did I become responsible? When did I really start to understand the concept of when somebody depends on you and you need to come through? And I went back to my days, probably starting at a paper route. I was probably 11, 12 years old, and I started working for an individual on his route while he would take days off. I would cover for him on a paper route. And then once I had my own route, I was responsible for making sure that each and every day I was delivering the news. I had to go out and collect the money for the newspapers. And then we also had sales contests where I would go around with the district manager and try to sell the newspaper. At the time, this newspaper happened to be the Bellingham Herald, located up in Bellingham, Washington, which is close to the Canadian border. And that was my real first scenario in understanding of what it means to earn money, what it means to be responsible, and what it means for individuals to depend on you. If people didn't get their newspaper, they became very angry. Why? Because reading the newspaper was a big part of their day. So for a second, think about when you realized what responsibility was and what was it? As you think about that, how did it make you feel to be responsible when maybe at the time your friends weren't as responsible? And I think that innate feeling that you have is just a great feeling to know that you are earning money, you are being responsible, and you are able to learn the concept of business management. So if that means you were babysitting, mowing yards, delivering the newspaper, whatever it may have been that made you feel responsible, it's just the start of a great thing as we grow up. Now, it's a little different this day and age, especially for Gen Zs, because it's not as common to have jobs at a young age of, 11, 12, 13 years old. Delivering papers is not the same as it used to be. It's mostly cars and things like that. So you don't see too many people just delivering door to door. That had become more extinct as the years gone on. And remember, this is 30 plus years later. So a lot of things have changed. And now people don't collect money themselves. They send it in, they have credit cards. So it was definitely a different time. But now it becomes increasingly difficult to be able to have that understanding of responsibility and dependability, because people aren't giving the younger generation jobs until they turn 16, 17 years old. But then there's a lot of laws and stipulations that also cover that. That's why being responsible, having that feeling that you are doing the right thing, is a great feeling. Now, another aspect of being responsible at a young age is doing your schoolwork, making sure that you are held accountable for getting the schoolwork that you need to complete when it's due, and completing it then, and then making sure that work that you did complete is quality. And that goes to responsibility in the workplace too. When the boss asks you to do a project and you may be the team leader, people may be depending on you to help distribute the work and take charge of the project. And the bosses want to make sure that whatever project you're working on, you provide something that is a good product. And that is, again, where responsibility plays key. Now, responsibility in life, people handle that differently sometimes. And that's why I've got some tips that I want to provide, which are 9 ways to take responsibility for your life. This replaces complaining and blaming with the acts of intention. You probably have heard the take 100% responsibility for our life. We feel like we have to take 100% responsibility for our life to be successful. So what is the big deal about it? The big deal is it moves you from the victim to the victor of life. That means you have your life, you have your ability to be responsible in your hands and to achieve results without being the victim. The victim is somebody that doesn't take control, doesn't take responsibility. It's oh no, this happened to me. Oh, it's not my fault. Remember, it puts you at cause and not at effect, meaning that you accept that you create your life and not just reacting to it. Remember, a good business will be proactive and not reactive. And that's the same way that we need to be within our life. You appreciate that things happen for you and not to you. Taking responsibility also puts you at the choice that allows you to choose how to respond to life challenges. We have challenges every single day. And sometimes they say you should have the same breakfast every day because it's one less decision you have to make. Some of the smartest, most intelligent individuals will wear the same thing every single day. Why? Because they don't want to have to worry about the choice, because there's so many other decisions that are important in their life on a daily basis. So it's interesting for those individuals that are like that, but I can understand why it would make sense. You have to move in the driver's seat of your life's journey. When you get in the car and you have no idea where you're going and you're the passenger, that's not how you want to live life. That's why responsibility is so important. That is why you take that driver's seat and you go. You put your foot to the accelerating pedal and you go. And the only time you brake is when there's an obstacle coming your way and your barrier and you need to overcome it. So that's why you brake, you turn, you swerve, and you get back on track. And that's getting back on track in life. As you know, we are energy. Our thoughts, words, actions, feelings are energy. And the law of attention, that it brings us more of what we think and it feels. It merely matches the energy of your thoughts and feelings with experiences that give you the same amount of powerful energy, excitement. But when you broadcast thoughts that result in you feeling good, the law of attraction responds by bringing you experiences. When you feel good and you have that power, that will basically re-energize not only you, it re-energizes the people around you. So it pays to take responsibility for your life. I agree. I think that's the right way to look at life. What do you think? Let's explore 9 ways on how it looks at everyday life, including your businesses and how you do things. So take responsibility for your thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. That is number 1. Because remember, taking responsibility in your life is taking responsibilities for the way you think, feel, act, speak. And this will create your life with meaningful actions. You take responsibility when you accept that the thoughts you have are the thoughts coming from your mind. How do you feel in your body? And is it a result of your thoughts? Sometimes you can make yourself sick by just the thought of it. I can tell you when I had a COVID scare, I thought all of a sudden I started feeling not so good. Because why? Because the mind plays a powerful source on how you feel. And when you think you're going to have a negative response or a negative experience, guess what happens? You tend to have a negative experience. And that's why it's important to take your life in your own hands. Number 2, stop complaining. Complaining is a form of blaming, playing the victim, and when everything's not going to a plan, there's a gift. There is a bigger picture, but you got to find what that gift is. And where can I get this gift and learn from this gift? So that's why you got to stop complaining, start understanding, start thinking about how you can solve it. And number 3, stop blaming the individuals around you. Stop blaming the president. Stop blaming the economy. Stop blaming your animals, cats, dogs, cows, pigs. Blaming keeps you in the mode of being a victim, and it takes away from you being able to change your situation. When you stop blaming and you accept that responsibility, you be changed from the victim to the victor, meaning you go from being a loser to a winner. Everybody wants to be a winner, and that's why you got to have that positive mindset. Number 4 is refuse to take anything personal. This is a huge one. Why? Assuming that everything is about you, taking any form of disagreement is a personal attack. I know I'm guilty of this. There's no doubt about it. Because sometimes you have to realize that the situation is not bigger than you. It's just a perception of how you feel and how you think people feel about you and the situation. So refuse to take anything personal because it's probably not about you. Think about this. When you ask yourself, is this about me or is it the issue at hand? And 9 times out of 10, it's the issue at hand. The fifth tip is make yourself happy. Take responsibility for your happiness. Be happy. Feel good. Happy is the decision that we make. And what is the happiness? What is the gateway to happiness? It's gratitude. And we've talked in the past about keeping a gratitude journal. It's a great way to realize all the things you can be thankful for, even when things don't seem to be going exactly right as you see it in your life. Tip number 6, use the power of intention. You have the power to choose. You make choices all the time. You can decide to have your hair up, hair down, go to the gym, not go to the gym, pay this bill, not pay this bill. Becoming intentional is making choices by having a vision in mind. That's a vision for your business, relationship, wealth, health, and just life and business in general. When you live intentionally by deliberately making choices to move you forward versus moving backwards, that is where you are saying, I'm taking charge of my life. Number 7, live in the present. Quit talking about the days when you were the star quarterback, the star pitcher. You did this job great. and live in the moment. Be great at what you're doing now. Look towards the future. Visualize it. And when you visualize it, you will take that responsibility to move forward and be successful. Number 8, feel calm and confident. When you take responsibility for your experiences and your life, you step into a confidence, not an ego-driven, but a confidence, calm atmosphere that you can understand that consciously you are in charge of yourself and you can choose how to respond. Ask yourself for a moment, what do I choose to accept from this conversation and how do I choose to respond? And the final tip is look for good in people. There's a saying that I like to share. We judge ourselves by our intentions and we judge others by their behavior. Isn't that the truth? So make it a new habit to look at your intentions. When we understand where someone comes from, then we can let go of the judgment. Think about the individual you see on the corner that's on the bench. Maybe he's homeless. You judge that person. Why? You think automatically, are they into drugs? Are they crazy? Are they alcoholics? Whatever it may be. But stop judging. Ask yourself, if I just see him or her as a human being, how would I respond differently? This allows you to take responsibility and extrapolate those conversations and fulfilling relationships because that person that you are talking to will appreciate your attention. They understand that responsibility is the key to living your life fully without complaining, without blaming. Don't refuse to take anything personal. Always make yourself happy. Live in the moment. Use that power of intention. Feel calm and confident and look for the good in people. And when you do all these, that responsibility you learned back as a young child and you grew up as you are a Gen Z and Millennial, maybe you're a leader, you understand the concepts of what it takes to be responsible. And it's a big aspect of our life. That's why responsibility is king in our lives, in our business, and personal wealth, health, and whatnot. So again, as always, I appreciate your listenership. If you want to reach out, the best way to reach out is jason@jwigginsconsulting.com or via email, via the website, Gen Z and Millennial Expert. And if it's in the morning, afternoon, or night, be safe, take care, have a great upcoming weekend, and we'll talk to you again on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.